Well, hello everybody. My name is Adam and I am the Average Runner, and today we're reviewing the Alafia State Park Half Marathon. Now, if you haven't watched my video of the Alafia Half Marathon, my experience running it and everything, I recommend you going back and seeing that. It was a great race, had a lot of fun. You can see a link to that video down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. So, here we go with the review. Kind of my training leading up to the race was not all that I wanted it to be. Originally, I started out with great plans of I was going to train and be ready for this race, and I was going to do really well at the race. But as I started training, there were different things that came up with family, sickness, travel, the holidays came, everything just kind of fell apart. And my training did not go really well and as planned like I would have liked to. The longest run prior to the half marathon was probably anywhere from 5 to 6 miles, which is not really good if you're going to be competitive at a half marathon or do really well or try to set a PR in a half marathon. And so because of that, I knew that I needed to reevaluate how I wanted to approach the half marathon, the way I wanted to go about running it. Also, for 2020, at the start of this year, I started heart rate training specifically. All my training earlier in the year has been a whole lot slower. All my training has been a lot less mileage, kind of building up slowly. I'm about 8 weeks into heart rate training at this point. And so I'm excited to be able to, in a future video, kind of talk more about heart rate training, how it's affected me, how it's been beneficial to me, and the ways I've seen improvements. So because I hadn't done a whole lot of training, I chose from the very beginning that I was just going to run with the mare. What I mean by that is that I was going to basically start at the very, very back. I knew I didn't want to get caught up in all the excitement, all the energy of the start and everybody starting off, because I was worried that if I was up with everybody else and starting with everybody else, that as they took off, I would start off too quickly and I knew I would fade fast. And so I purposely chose on race morning to stand near the back. The race started, the race director got up there, he started the race, everybody took off, and I just kind of hung out for about 30 seconds or so and let everybody take off, and then I started on my race, which meant I purposely set myself at the very back of the pack, at the very back of the race, and I was running kind of in last place to begin with. But I was okay with that because I knew what my training was like. I knew that I needed to start slowly in order to do well at the race and finish the race and not just totally fall apart and die and wheels fall off. It would be horrible otherwise. So the trails at Alafia, we actually ran on bicycle trails. And from what I was told as I was studying about this race and learning more about this race is that Alafia State Park has some of the best bicycle trails in all of Florida. And so we got to run on those trails, and there were beautiful sandy trails. There were trails through big trees and just great tree cover. There were trails that went over boardwalks, and it was a great mix of trails. It was a lot of fun. Great course. It was very challenging. It's actually called the Florida Challenge for this reason, because of being on bicycle trails. In Florida, you don't think of hills, you don't think of ups and downs, but because they're bicycle trails, they've really dug in and created some up and downs, very quick, steep up and downs, and just very challenging, a lot of fun. As I continued on in the race, it definitely took a toll on me a little bit, but that's okay. I still finished, and I was excited about that. Almost the whole thing was single track as well, which was really awesome. And again, just as I said, if you hadn't seen the video already, go check it out. I recorded a lot of the trails, and you'll see all the different types of trail, the different types of environments that we were running in, the openness and sandy plains, as well as some tree cover and just single track through the trees. It was beautiful, beautiful running. As I said earlier, I did start off with the mare. I started off in the back, and so I just took it easy the whole race. I try to just kind of slowly work my way through the race. So I did take it easy throughout the whole race, and I kept an eye on my watch the whole time, checking out what mileage I was at, checking out where I was along the course. They had warned us kind of ahead of time because we're on trails and there's so many switchbacks, and tree cover and everything that our GPS would be a little bit off. It was a little bit off. I think I ended up officially with like 12.5 miles, somewhere around in there for my watch time. However, they had told us, they put the odometer on their bicycles and rode all the trails that we did, and it turned out to be 13.1 miles. So I'm happy with that. I did hit a low point around 7 miles or so, which again, as I told you earlier, was only running about 4 to 5 miles as a long run, 5, maybe 6 as a long run prior to that. And so 7 miles kind of began to hit a low and just really take it easy, kept pushing through and having fun. That was the whole time. I was just like, I just want to have fun. So as I approached the finish line, it was super low key. It was a fun atmosphere still, but it was low key. I mean, there were people that were hanging out around. They had a DJ going that was playing some music, and there was some snacks and people just hanging around and talking and everything. So it was a lot of fun. Great race. Every finisher got one of these dry bags that says the Florida Challenge Half Marathon and 5K, which is great to be able to store shoes and wet clothing from runs and different things. And so I was really excited to be able to get this bag as a finishing item. It was a great race. My official finish time was 2 hours, 23 minutes, 18 seconds with a official pace of around 10 minutes and 56 seconds, which was kind of slow, and it was probably the slowest half marathon that I've run to date. But again, on my training, I was happy with it. It was more of kind of like a, hey, you've been sitting around doing nothing, we're going to go run a half marathon. And I was excited, happy about my results and the way things turned out. Overall, the Florida Challenge was a fantastic experience. I hope that the event organizers will be able to continue to put on the Florida Challenge, and I encourage you, if you have any opportunity, ever an opportunity to run the Florida Challenge, I encourage you to do it. I hope they'll continue to do it. I know there was a little bit of a challenge with having to shut down bicycle trails, because it really does bring in a lot of money for the state park with the bicycle trails being open, since they are so popular, and having to shut them down for us to be able to run on just kind of makes things a little bit more difficult for the state park. Because of that, there's talks as to will we be able to do this next year. They've talked about maybe raising the cost of the half marathon a little bit, which I wouldn't mind, because it was such a great event, and I hope that they'll be able to continue to put it on. You should definitely check out tamparaces.com and the events and the races that they put on. They put on a great event. I had a great time. Thank you, Tampa Races, for putting on the event. That's my review of the Florida Challenge. It was a great experience, a lot of fun. If you ever get the opportunity to either run the race or just run trails out there at Alafia, I encourage you to do it. If you're a mountain biker, definitely go check them out, because the trails out there are phenomenal. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I look forward to sharing more about some of my adventures and races and other things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Adam. I am The Average Runner. And as I say, you don't have to run fast. You don't have to run far. Just go run. See you soon.